fifth dimension. Aquarius I am. We in the Aquarius age for the next 2,000 years, you dig?
Swing low, time to move on. Light years in time, ahead of our time.
I want to free your mind by helping you understand the zodiac signs. That's right, you're live with Aquaman in the zodiac zone where the cosmos is your home. I'm your very own Ampu, the real urban guru, coming through on the mothership. So let's open up your cosmic memory bank and swing down to earth where the shit stain. What up, what it do? This is your partner Ampu, the urban guru, swinging back in off that mothership. Want to have a real conversation with you real fast because as you can see from the title, it's something that just needs to be done. I want to weigh in because I believe my opinion is very much sound. And I want to take the opposition to my brother, T.I., who I'm going to accuse of being biased, who I'm going to accuse of not properly weighing the information on his Libra scales. Comes back to that zodiac. Libra is very important because this is the justice scales. In ancient Egypt, this is Mayat. In fact, on those justice scales, it is Ampu that puts the heart of the deceased on the justice scales. You understand? So when it comes to justice, it's a part of my psyche, part of my being that needs to talk about this ultimate truth so everyone can understand the truth. This is just truth, okay? Now, I'm going to say that Tip is not weighing the information thoroughly. And what I mean by this is, to be specific, when it comes to Donald Trump, I've seen it through the Candace Owens thing on Revolt TV and now on the latest Alex Jones things on Tip's YouTube channel on his podcast. He likes to throw up the fact that Trump said very fine people on both sides in Charlottesville. And that's fine. It's totally understandable. And I'm going to show you where we're making the error at in this. It is unfair and unjust when you do not properly tell the entire story. To be a judge, the Supreme Court, in my opinion, is the supreme law of the land. The highest office of the land is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, because it is that person who swears in your president. The Supreme Court gets the final say in all disputes, bruh. So therefore, when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to understanding, the courts preside over disputes. There's an issue between two parties and the buck stops there. There's no more appeal. There's no more arguing to do. If it make it this far, this is the final opinion on what's right and what's wrong. Okay. And to be in that position is very worthy, and it deals with a high level of intellect minus emotion. An emotion is a thought that produces a feeling that gets us to override logical information. Very important to understand that. So we say, oh, she was just being emotional. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I was in my feelings. And we use that as a blanket, as a cover up to justify the actions that we just did. And the actions that we did, we had to think about doing it, and we did it. And we pretty much saying, I lost conscious control, and we dub it emotional. And now I'm going to ask the question, is Tip's response an emotional response? Because majority of everybody's responses has been emotional. How dare you, Trump, say it's both? There's good people on both sides, and the KKK and the neo-Nazis are there. Rightfully so. But are you looking at the entire story? Because no one is telling the entire story and then say, I still side and say Trump is a racist. But you're not telling the entire story. You only say the part that you don't like. So let's look at this and let's just be fair. What you're going to see is actual footage. A reporter said the neo-Nazis started this thing. They showed up in Charlottesville. Let's roll that clip first.
Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville.
Excuse me.
Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville.
Excuse me.
Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville.
Excuse me.
Then Trump is going to respond, and he's going to say, excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as neo-Nazis. And you had some very bad people in that group. He says that before he said there was very fine people on both sides. Let's roll that clip.
And you had some very bad people in that group. And you had some very bad people in that group. And you had some very bad people in that group.
And you had some very bad people in that group. And you had some very bad people in that group.
So as you can see, he said there's very bad people in that group. In what group? Trump was responding to the reporter who said the neo-Nazis started this thing. They showed up in Charlottesville. So Trump said, wait a minute, excuse me. These people, in a later conversation, they talked about these people had a permit, a right to protest, right? A right to assemble. So that's why Trump said they didn't put themselves down as neo-Nazis. And you had some very bad people in that group. So this group of people who's there to protest on behalf of the neo-Nazis and have that Confederate ideology. Come on. Don't look at me sideways, player, because I got the American flag behind me. There's some Abe Lincoln Union soldier shit. This that General William T. Sherman 40 acres in the mule shit. Niggas always want to talk about 40 acres in the mule, but goddamn it, you better go study and understand that came from Special Field Order number 15. From my war general from Ohio, nigga. I got to say that shit. I just got to say it. It's the battleground for every election for a reason. And when you start understanding the history on how the slaves got free and understand the abolitionist movement and the Civil War movement and the barrier between slavery and freedom, the Ohio River, I get passionate about that shit right there. For real, for real. Because I know I see it in its entirety. This the real art of woe shit. I always say it. Fuck all that Sun Tzu shit. You niggas better study the Civil War because that's the war that got your ancestors free, nigga. Real spill. All right? Now, the question is going to have to be, well, why did Trump call them very bad people? He said that. But the real question is, why ain't nobody saying that part, which was the sentence immediately before, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides? Let's run the clip together.
They showed up in Charlottesville
Excuse me.
to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as you. And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
So notice Trump said you had very bad people in that group. He said that first. He said it first. He said it first. He said it first. And it's just truth is truth, man. I ain't here to champion Trump. I ain't here to do none of it. I'm just talking to the aspect of truth. But I fucks with him like all y'all did in the past, man. And see, we got to understand something, though. We got to understand something. And I'm going to tell you, let me be clear on some shit. Because of some shit that I don't like. And I think it's very egotistical of the Donald. You did put a bounty out on the Central Park 5. And the law said they're not guilty. God damn it, you owe them an apology. I can't ride with that one, man. And I understand very well. Me and my brother, the priesthood minister Jew, we understand very well the tactics of positive thinking and dead catting and the shit that's being done. We understand it very well. Better use Google on what I just said. We understand it very well. But that, my friend, is very egotistical to not recant that judgment because them men could have been wrongfully put to death. And the law is the law. The judgment is the judgment. Especially when you have someone else who admitted it and took responsibility for it, man. I ain't riding with that. I'm not. So I want to paint the picture clear that my Libra scales is clear tonight, man. Real clear. But back to the subject matter at hand. So what happened? What happened when everybody is seeing, oh, he said it's very fine people? I'm going to tell you what happened. You're seeing the image of people getting ran over by neo-Nazi supporters. Let's just call them Confederates, because that's what they is, damn it. They getting ran over by modern day Confederates. And that image in your head supersedes logical information. We all know by now the right brain and left brain are two different hemispheres of the brains that have two different functions. One is said to be more artistic and creative and image related. Right brain. Left brain is considered more analytical, the data. So when you see in the image, it don't matter about the facts. Your mind has to take all of the data that it hears and make it fit the picture that it sees. Ooh, wee. Gotta say that again. Your mind, the way your brain works, it has to take the data that it hears and it has to make it fit the picture and image that it sees. Although what you clearly heard, you have some very bad people in that group that gets canceled, null and void, muted, okay, to fit the narrative of the image that you see. White so-called supremacy. The only thing is supreme in this world is God. No goddamn white supremacy. And stop saying they. So that shit is whack. All right. So I'll close with this. Show you how your brain works and how we misconstrue information as we deal with this sensitive topic of black and white. Jay-Z even said it on Wish Free with Meek Millie, right? 3/5, I believe the phrase, and you go around and take a popular consensus. And I even heard the one sister on the panel on Revolt talk about, she mumbled it, like a country that think we 3/5 of a human being. It is a known fact that we perceive the 3/5 compromise as being that the white government, white men saw black men as 3/5 of a human being. And that's bullshit. Go read yourself. I keep saying it. 3/5 was actually in our favor. We needed 3/5. What do you mean? The North said, listen, Southern slave holders, y'all want to have slaves? Let's put it in context where it really happened at. 1787 Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. The country is forming its rules called a Constitution. How we gonna govern ourselves as a new nation? Okay, because in 1783 the war is finally over. The American Independence War. You say 1776. That's just a Declaration of Independence. There's 7 more years, 1783, that the war finally would end, known as the Treaty of Paris. Now it's official that we won that declaration. We just declared that shit in the middle of a battle, but we still had to fight for that shit. So we won that shit when King George gives up, like, okay, go ahead, fuck it, y'all, America, 1783 Treaty of Paris, do y'all, we up out of here. We tired of fucking with y'all and fighting with y'all. It's been 8 years, for sure. Okay? So, 1787 come, just 4 years after the treaty. Let's start having our first conventions and talk about how we're going to form this new nation. The issue of slavery comes up. It's so heated, they said, okay, listen, man, we're going to have to come up with a compromise. if you calling your slaves property, then we need to tax you 100%, and you're gonna have to pay tax. And the greedy ass South is like, no, what you mean taxes? They people, they ain't all property. Oh, if they people, then they need to vote. Oh, no, what you mean? Because if they vote, they gonna outvote us and we ain't gonna be in control. Then I tell you what, man. I tell you what. For your census records and representation in Congress, this is very motherfucking important. For your representation in Congress, you will not count all of your slave population. You will only count every 3 out of 5, which is 60% of your slave population. So therefore, as a representative, if you can represent 30,000 people, one representative represents 30,000 people. Okay. Within, let's just say the slave population is 30,000. You're not going to count all 30,000. You're only going to count 60% of that 30,000, which would be what? 18,000. So you can only count 18,000. So what happened was that shrunk the Southerners' representation in the Congress because they couldn't count the remaining 40%. Because had they had counted all of the slaves, their white slave holding master asses would have been more in Congress, more in power than the Northerner, the abolitionists who wasn't fucking with that slave shit, man. I gotta just kick it the way you know it. Because nobody never talks about it, and I get it. So when we hear 3/5, and we say, oh, what you mean 3/5? Damn, that's fucked up. You only count 3 out of the 5. What the fuck? We ain't human? Because that timeline of slavery is producing the image in your mind. And once again, the horrible, horrific image of slavery is now twisting analytical data that is in complete opposition and making the data fit the narrative of the image that you see. 3/5 was a clever art of war strategy that shrunk the representation of Southerner slaveholders' representation in Congress. I got the stats actually behind me that I can pull out and just give it to you. 1790 census is like 600,000 slaves, if I'm not mistaken, on the record. They should have had 12 representatives in Congress in 1790. And they only had, they should have had 21 and only had 12. We beat them out of 9. We shrunk their representation by 9 congressmen. Literally. Go study this shit yourself. See, that's what happens because this issue is so, it's an emotional issue, rightfully so. It's touchy. But damn it, you're going to have to use clear, divine, analytical wisdom to cipher through this shit and piece it all together. Shout out to Killer Mike because he always talk about John Brown, who represents Ohio as his hometown. I got to keep saying that shit. Sorry. Just say what it is. When you talk about white people who have that kind of attitude, you're talking about a jayhawker. You're talking about a war that took place out in the western plains of Kansas, where there was white people who said, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all ain't about to have no slaves around here. We gonna bang on y'all. And it was a bloody war, so bloody that they call it Bleeding Kansas. This shit starts 1857 before the Civil War, which is 1861, late 1860. Right. And so listen, man, we have to weigh the information thoroughly. In closing, like I told Tip, shout out to Diamond and Silk. You cannot scream white supremacy and oppression in one breath and then turn around and be like, I'm rich. You cannot scream the white man is going to bring these corporations into these opportunity zones and we ain't going to benefit. And then in the same breath, turn around and say, I've been investing in opportunity zones all my life for a long time. Then like, what are you talking about? Then we can do what you do. See, there's some, we call it inconsistencies in the psychology, man. And there's a big ass gap between the people and the plateau where these artists is at. I'm just going to keep it 100 on a lot of levels that need to be bridged. That really needs to be bridged. Bruh, tip. I bet if I ask you, do you think there's a master plan of white supremacy that's just sitting back trying to figure out a way to do niggas in? You probably would say yeah. Probably. I think you would say yeah. But even if you don't, I hope you don't. But if you are of that opinion, sir, then I will say this. How is it that the man, the feds, didn't lock your black ass up and throw you up under the jail and throw the key away when you got more goddamn weapons than a goddamn arsenal? Like, literally. Like, what's up with that? Your shit was so sweet that the streets and the rumors started circling. Oh, that nigga snitching. He snitching. Because motherfuckers couldn't believe how you got up out of that shit. Right? But my point is, how can you have white supremacy on one breath that wants to destroy the motherfucking black man and woman, but particularly the black man, and crush his ass? They got every legal opportunity to crush your ass, and yet they allow your money, and you pay one hell of a fee, right, for you to say, you know what, we gonna smack your ass on this wrist of federal gun charges, and we better not see your black ass back in here no more. And you better do some nice community shit. And you better get on TV and start fixing this shit and start showing us how to family hustle, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, man? Which one is it? Is the system oppressing us, or is it allowing us second and third opportunities to get our shit together and get our family hustle together, which creates pretty hustle, which now affects your children and allow them to get into the grand hustle and be successful, man? Which one is it? Now, everybody motherfucking love Tupac, and I'm going to tell you why you love Tupac, and I'm out of here. That nigga had Mars and Aquarius. Aquarius I am. It wasn't necessarily because of his lyrical ability and he was an ill lyricist. He was a real lyricist, meaning he was real. He spoke to the issues at hand. Don't y'all ever motherfucking forget, in racist ass Georgia, home of T.I., home of Stone Mountain, Martin Luther King, been to Stone Mountain, which is home of the second Ku Klux Klan, that has 3 men on the mountain that are Confederate. The president of the Confederacy, Mr. Jefferson Davis, and 2 war generals, Stonewall Jackson and the head general, General Lee. All them girls with them Daisy Dukes on, and General Lee, the Dodge Challenger, the car. Yeah. Right? Tupac shot 2 white off-duty police officers, and the case got motherfucking thrown out, nigga. What are y'all talking about, Illuminati? What are you talking about, a grand conspiracy to kill a black man, where a black man in the 90s saw 2 cops who were clearly out of pocket, off duty, out of pocket, and pulled out their weapon, and Pac pulled out his shit and shot at the motherfuckers, and the court said, we gonna throw this shit out. That was a chance to lock his black ass up forever and forever. But see, y'all got to understand spirit and understand why did the spirit put Pac's Tupac Memorial in Stone Mountain, Georgia, when that nigga ain't from there, man. Y'all know his soil is more of Baltimore, New York, and then later the Bay. His soil is everywhere. And y'all ain't never there. Meaning, get up on the level, man. Stand on your motherfucking square. Y'all don't even understand that shit. But I ain't here to talk about that and try to make nobody feel no type of way. I'm just saying, see this shit for what it is. You can't shoot at 2 white police officers and then scream white supremacy and they throw the fucking case out. You can't have all these weapons and then the feds say, oh, nigga, do a year and a day and cough up a lot of money, get the fuck up out of here and clean your life up. Come on, man. Something ain't right, bruh. It ain't no fucking mass suppression. What is happening is, and I said I was going to get off. What is happening is these random events that pop up, Charlottesville, Mike Brown, situations like that triggers a post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic slave syndrome that we have in us, and then it automatically takes us to the worst era called Jim Crow and slavery. That's what's happening. It triggers that. So when those images hit the news and we start seeing that, it filters up or it conjures up all of those negative memories that we have of shit that we saw. We wasn't even there, but shit that we saw via TV from the past. And then we start living in that world, justifying all of the analytical data to fit the current motive of what we see, which is false, bruh. Totally false, man. I stand on that. I would love to have a conversation with the best of the best in opposition so we can go through. Because how you going to say I'm wrong when all my shit can be verified in its facts? 1787 Constitutional Convention, 3/5 Compromise. That shit ain't got nothing to do with the human being. Tupac story. Like, this shit is real shit. I'm out, man. I holla at y'all. Peace. R.I.P. Abe Lincoln. Hey, Minister Jew, these niggas fucked up, man, over this black and white shit. Grown ass niggas talking about we still slaves. They don't see the spirit, nigga. So let's give it to them. Hey, I know you can't see it. You a silly rabbit. Your ass don't wanna be it. Hey, cops kill blacks for no reason. I represent the USA. You saying I'm being treason? Well, let that be the reason, bitch. I'm a Union soldier looking for Confederates. You don't like this shit, won't you go and slit your wrists? You'd rather protest at the Olympics and pump your fists. Shout out to Nip the Great. Shout out to YG, the red and the blue, nigga. That's Abe Lincoln shit. The red, white, the blue. White is the peace, nigga. Get it? Last time that I checked, the Union beat Confederates. Ain't no shackles on their neck. Abe Lincoln, that's respect. The slaves are free, escape from the Confederacy. I'm rolling with the Union, so fuck Robert Lee. School 'em, niggas on top now. Ain't no slavery, they can't keep a nigga down. No, corporate want a sponsorship. We the big fish, nigga, that's a partnership. Apple gave Dr. Dre a Billy. Philly Mike Rubin said free Meek Millie. Sprint gave Hove 200 milli. Fuck Illuminati cause your niggas sound silly. Biatch! Always on that hating shit. You the house nigga, hating on Harriet. I been said it, niggas are some scary men. To get free, it took Miss Tubman. Hey, it's all in your genetic code. 1 minute he the GOAT, now you hate Hove. Black on black crime, nigga, cause your blood cold. B told your formation, that's the Super Bowl. Check, the Union beat Confederates. Ain't no shackles on her neck. Abe Lincoln, that's respect. The slaves are free, escape from the Confederacy. I'm rolling with the Union, so fuck Robert Lee. Last time that I checked, the Union beat Confederates. Ain't no shackles on her neck. Abe Lincoln, that's respect. The slaves are free, escape from the Confederacy. I'm rolling with the Union, so fuck Robert Lee. Hey, it all started with Cap's knee. It put the light on police brutality. But these niggas got a crab mentality. They think that the white man's stopping their reality. Did Ross had to get permission when he bought checkers and he went to 8 digits? Did Diddy had to get permission when he sponsored Ciroc and he went to 10 digits? That's a billionaire, 1,000 times a millionaire. We all rich, I swear to God, so let's take it there. Making big moves, Brett Barris Belair.
Union soldiers in the building and we declare the slaves are free. Fuck the Confederacy, stop saying they, cause that shit is gay. Man, there's no way y'all peep the play from Abe. First emancipate, nigga, we ain't
Last
slaves.
time that I checked, the Union be Confederates. Ain't no shackles on her neck, Abe Lincoln, that's respect. The slaves are free, escape from the Confederacy. I'm rolling with the Union, so fuck Robert Lee. Last time that I checked, the Union be Confederates. Ain't no shackles on her neck, Abe Lincoln, that's respect. The slaves are free, escape from the Confederacy. I'm rolling with the Union, so fuck Robert Lee.
Prophecy is what we all have to go by now.